Good morning. It is me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayer, and this is Tuned In Tarot. We are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine energies inside of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our external environment, in our interactions with others. And if we want to see change in our lives, we actually have to make those changes and shift the energy within us. And that's why it helps us to take a look at both sides of self so we can really understand what's going on, why we're attracting the experiences we're having, etc., etc. This morning, I'm going to be live streaming here on YouTube, but also on TikTok. So if I don't look exactly at you, if I'm doing like camera one, camera two, camera one, camera two, you'll know why. It's not because I'm ignoring you. I love you. Thank you so much for everybody who's here supporting me, who continues to support me. If you want to book a personal reading, the link is down below if you're watching on YouTube, or you can click the link in my profile if you're on TikTok and find all of the details there. Donations are very welcome. I had a financial setback last week, and I'm halfway to fixing it, but I do value and need some donations to be able to hit my goal tomorrow. So please, if you enjoy this reading, there's 72 of you in the room right now. If everybody gave me $1, I would be a little bit closer to where I needed to be. So consider donating or booking a private reading, and definitely be sharing, following, liking, all of those things to help me out so I can continue to do these free readings for you every week. All right, we're going to get started. I already shuffled this goddess card with my TikTokers over here, and we got this lovely goddess that's difficult to pronounce, and we're going to say Lazulto. Okay, that's how, and if anyone knows how to pronounce Toltec goddesses, please tell me because I want to do this right. So she is a Toltec Earth Mother, the goddess of carnal love and desire. Like Kali in India, she is portrayed as a horrible, devouring figure, yet is also honored as a moving, creative principle. She is sometimes pictured as four sisters, the four ages of woman, who are present at the crossroads of one's life. Lazulto is best known as the eater of impurities. Once in a lifetime, a person confessed her worst deeds and sins to Lazulto, holding back nothing. In return, the confessor received absolution. No impurity or defilement was too great to be forgiven. Lazulto is that deep part of ourselves that we fear because it is so powerful and unfamiliar. Yet when we touch her through her fearsome countenance, we find absolute mercy. She is proof that anything that can overwhelm and destroy us also has the power to grant forgiveness. So this for me is like the energy of the judgment card, reconciliation, forgiveness. And if you're Catholic, then this is like going to confession, right? Reconciliation. But the reason I've been doing these goddess energy cards again, I used to do them. If you go back through my archives of my YouTube videos, you'll definitely find me doing goddess cards there. And it was during a time when we really needed to elevate the divine feminine. She wasn't really honoring herself. She was more interested in what the masculine was doing. And it was really important for her to really elevate herself. Also, if the bring back that feminine energy. My connection is unstable. Please wait while we try reconnecting. All right, I don't know how great my connection is going to be today. Sorry about that. But it's time now for us to bring that feminine energy to the forefront, empower her, allow her to be able to tune into her humanity. And so I want to bring back the goddess practice, which is you can picture this goddess if you've never had a relationship with her before, or any energy that is feminine. So I've had people before tell me they can't pray to a goddess. Well, part of that is because you're part of a patriarchal religion that stripped the feminine from the religion. And the reason that you feel sinful for honoring and revering the feminine is because if the feminine had the same amount of power as the masculine, and I don't mean people, I mean within a person, then we couldn't commit crimes against humanity, because the feminine is the empathic, compassionate side of self that feels what consequences actually happen once you've committed action. So there's a reason why there's reconciliation with this card. It would be very inconvenient if corporations felt anything for the people that they are stripping their rights and quality of life from. It wouldn't work out so well for your big shiny capitalist society. So it really makes a lot more sense to repress the feminine. And this happens both externally, as in women and trans people and just anybody basically that is in their feminine energy, gay men, it doesn't matter. But if you are revering, honoring, or appearing as feminine in our culture, then you will have to be oppressed and suppressed, or else that feminine side of self will be equal within self. And then our thoughts and our hearts must be in union when we make decisions. And if you're behind a weapon and you have to make the decision about snuffing out someone's life, whether it's in war or self defense or for committing a crime or anything, you're not going to be able to make that decision as easily if you didn't feel. So that's why it's oppressed, right? It's not because women are bad or evil, or it's because having feminine energy present makes it difficult to be an asshole completely. Now, if you have distorted feminine energy, if you have too much feminine energy, that's another story. I'm talking about balancing, okay? It's not like the feminine energy is without flaws. It's that if you're out of balance inside of self, it's just going to be a shit show. It doesn't matter who you are. Or so I want to honor the feminine. So picture any feminine energy, any goddess energy. Put your hand on your heart. You can do this at any time today. You can even picture yourself in your ascended form if you really don't want to picture, a goddess form. That's fine. Just picture yourself in your feminine energy, in your creativity, in your emotion, whatever that is, and then just repeat, my heart is the heart of the goddess, as a mantra for 5 to 15 minutes during a meditation, and start to empower that feminine energy within inside of self. All right, now let us begin. We are going to, I did. I put all of the cards on top of this deck. It's fine, I pulled it out without knocking them over, like tablecloth style. All right, let's get centered now. And I want everyone who's here with me to just tune into their breathing for a moment and just be present so that I can also tune into your energy for this reading. And I want you to imagine the thing that you think, if this happens, I am going to feel so much better. And even if I feel good right now, I'll feel even better if this thing happens. So go deep for a moment. If there's one thing that popped into your head, go even deeper into that thing. Ask yourself, well, what is that thing? Like if you wanted communication from someone, well, what is that? What is the actual content of the communication that you think would make you feel better? Because there's communication, what you think that you need. Let us check and see if my connection is coming back. Okay, that's what you think you need. Let us check and see if what you think you need is what you actually need. Here is what you actually need. This is from the Soft Tarot, and it says the Princess of Cups. This is the Page of Cups energy, and I did a reading which I haven't released yet. It's for TikTok, and it's going to come out later tonight. I created some content to post later this evening, and the Page of Cups, 10:22 on the clock, was a big player in that reading. So I am looking forward to everybody seeing that later tonight. But knowing that and knowing what that reading said, and then seeing this card, the Page of Cups is the card that we often associate with true love, innocence in that love, like teenage, lovesick puppy love. Oh, thank you so much for the gifts over here on TikTok. And the likes also. Wow, we're really climbing up there with the likes. Thank you. So this is the fields on a tree. It's like cute, but also kind of shallow, right? That's going to be there forever, right? When really, my connection on fucking God, it's so frustrating. I'm sorry, people who are watching this replay, for the terrible connection that I have with my computer this morning. Carving your initials on the tree is just really kind of shallow. I think this is funny because y'all get to see me, if you're watching me on TikTok, you get to see what I'm doing when the YouTube thing is like the connection is unstable and it's like, please wait while we're reconnecting. The connection is unstable. And I'm on this other side being like, you fucking bitch. Like, just work, god damn it, son of a bitch. Like, I'm always like so pissed. And then I come back and I'm like, as I was saying, it's crazy. If you're watching this on TikTok. And if you are worried you're not going to see the whole thing, you will see the replay later with a few interruptions where suddenly I appear smiling in camera. But you'll know what I was doing when it was connecting. So this is a shallow expression of love because it's emotionally underdeveloped. So why would it be coming out as something we need? Well, because we don't need to be emotionally underdeveloped, obviously, but we need to be heart-centered and innocent and just believe in that true love that happens. We might need to be a little bit, have a little bit of puppy love right now. We might need to be a little bit lovesick and not dreading that feeling. Because if you're dreading that feeling, then how are you going to have it? You also want to be open to receive and to give apologies because this is also a card about apologies. There's a turtle on this card, which is interesting. I've never noticed that on other cards before, but there's actually inside of this oyster here where there would normally be a pearl. We actually have this turtle. And so what this is making me think of is that the slow and steady aspects of this relationship, which may have been very frustrating, it's actually created something very precious. And because this true love that you've had has existed throughout all of this time, then you're really feeling, then it's like protected because that's what a pearl is. A pearl is it forms basically to protect the oyster. So it's like the slow moving energy has protected what is so precious and what is so innocent about this love. So that's what you actually need to understand, to feel, to have. And yes, this is the soft tarot deck for you that just noticed. And this is one of the 4 decks that were created by the Order of the Golden Dawn. This is Aleister Crowley's deck. He's super problematic, but his deck is fantastic, so we can forgive him. I'm not one to cancel art just because somebody is cancelable. I just like to bitch about that person. I mean, I studied art history. If we canceled artists for being disgusting, gross, and pervy, we wouldn't have a lot of art. With a lot of imagery. Hey, your power crown. Your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try connecting. Oh, look, we're back again from the unstable connection. I'm tempted. Oh, God. Okay. So the way that I choose who goes first when I do these readings on Mondays is that I've shuffled all the cards. If you're on TikTok, you could see me shuffling while I listen to music. And that's why I'm called Tuned in Tarot, because I listen to music and I use the messages from the music to help inform the reading. And then I look and I say, okay, who has the most cards showing? Today it is Divine Masculine, so I'm going to flip over the rest of the cards in his headspace, and then I'm going to read his headspace, and then we're going to read his cards after that. Now, I'm sure you're excited if you're a feminine identifying person, and you're like, ooh, now we're going to do masculine. But let me tell you what, this isn't about your person. I have to say this over and over and over and over again on my comments when I do readings, because so many times people will be like, well, my person isn't doing anything like this, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, wonderful. You've discovered something. Your person is not in alignment with your energy. If your person wouldn't say these things, wouldn't do these things, is in another relationship that's not being talked about, is cheating on you, is doing all of these horrible things, and you're in a horrible space with them, either you at a much early stage of your journey, or the person you have chosen is super out of alignment with who you are. Because that person, unless they're one of the 39 people here that's on TikTok, or the handful of people that's on YouTube, Unless your person is watching, I'm not tuning into their energy. I'm tuning into your energy. I am a person who believes in consent 100% of the time, energetically and materially. And energetically, I only read energy for those who have consented. Your person didn't call me, they didn't ask, so I'm not going to be sticking my nose in their business. I'm not that kind of a reader. I also don't know that anyone has that power, if you want my honest opinion. What I read is your energy. The good news is your energy is a direct reflection of every interaction you have, even the interaction you have in the bedroom that you're in right now, or the office, or the car, or wherever you are. Look around. What's your space look like? Is it crazy? Is it chaotic? Is it neat? Is it organized? Like, whatever your space is like is a reflection of the energy that you are projecting. So that energy is useful because if you know what you're projecting, then you know whether or not the person who you are interested in will reflect it back to you, has the potential to reflect it back to you. Because let me tell you what, your ego is very powerful, and your ego will often tell you it thinks it knows the person you're focused on is the right person for you. However, often the energy will allow you to realize that your ego is 100% wrong, which it doesn't like to admit. So it's going to do everything to try to get the square peg into the round hole. It's like, I'm gonna go, I'll drill a new hole, and then that one will work. If you can accept where your energy is and whether or not a person matches your energy, and shift your energy, which includes your thinking and how you feel, then you can shift the situation with anyone in your life. All right, so that was a big long description, but necessary, I think, because of the amount of times I do have to remind people that my readings are not about another person, they really are about yourself. And if you don't care about yourself, your feminine side, which your person has, by the way, the person isn't just a masculine energy, they are both energies. If you don't care about yourself and all you care about is the person you're focused on, that's why you're not with that person. The universe really wants you to give a shit about yourself, more of a shit about yourself, because if you don't, then you can't follow the commandments, which are to love your neighbor as yourself, not before yourself and not after yourself, but as yourself. And if you don't know what that feels like or how to do that, you are absolutely not going to be able to do that. All right, let's get started. We are going to start with Divine Masculine's overall headspace here. It is the Six of Cups from the Housewives Tarot. Who here loves the Housewives Tarot? I'm obsessed. It's one of my favorite. Past energy, where we've been stuck in the past. Um, Somebody from the past that's on our mind. But the masculine is really trying to release the past because the past is making him afraid of the current energy right now or of the future. Good morning to people who are joining. I just saw a message over here on YouTube, which I didn't see. I think this person has left already, but they said, "Are you doing free readings right now?" And I just want to confirm, no, I don't do free readings. Free readings are not in my oeuvre anymore, because I was like not able to pay my bills. It was the weirdest thing. I was doing things for free, and then I couldn't survive. And I was like, "Why can't I survive? Why is this there abundance?" And the universe was like, I don't know, could you just give everything away? So I'm sorry that I don't do free readings anymore. But I do give away readings for people who have interacted with me and exchanged a lot of energy with me. So I will do a reading giveaway for those that are top viewers and top gifters on my TikTok readings. And occasionally I may do some kind of an event where I do a particular type of a free reading. But in general, if you want a reading, you'll have to wait till after this collective reading is over or book a private one on my site. The link is available in the description box below for you over here on YouTube and, of course, in my profile for TikTok. So the Divine Masculine is working really hard to release the past. And it's not an easy thing for him to do. He's thinking about it overall in his headspace. He also really wants to reunite with the feminine, but there is this delay that is happening in his mind right now. He's like, I want to reunite, but it's not happening. And the reason for that is because of the fear that is underlying all of his thoughts and decisions right now. The bottom of the deck is the Four of Cups in reverse, and it's an interesting one because we're seeing the Divine Feminine here looking very surprised at this very big offer because in the past, there's just been a whole lot of nothing for her. But this is a really big offer. But you know what it is? It's booze because this deck has a lot of booze in it. And so it's something intoxicating, but it's also something poisonous. And the divine masculine is afraid that while divine feminine may be surprised about the offer that he wants to make, he's afraid she will feel that he is still toxic because of the past. Look at she was drinking that lemonade. She was drinking that pink lemonade, and she was innocent, and she loved it, and then found out that it was actually pretty poisonous. And so the masculine knows this has happened, and he's worried. He's really worried now that she's going to reject this offer and miss another opportunity with her, and he doesn't want to at all. He really doesn't want to because the very first thing on his mind is the Seven of Wands. He has been standing his ground and fighting off opposing forces, which really is just himself, right? Because opposing forces are just an illusion. If you look at the Seven of Wands, there's no one holding the wands. There's nobody actually fighting you. You're fighting yourself. You're fighting your own ideas about yourself. In this case, we're seeing this icky card. Nobody wants to think about toothbrushes cleaning a toilet. Like that's just put it. But that is what he's been fighting. He made a big mess and it did not smell good. It was really, really toxic, but he fought really hard to clean it up. He fought really hard to change his behaviors, to change his actions. Those wands, that's that action energy. He fought hard for it. He stood his ground. He went in with a toothbrush on a toilet, and he nobody wants to do that, and he did it. And he is hoping that since he did put in that time and do that work, that now they can enjoy this Two of Cups energy coming together in this present moment. This isn't my future placement. This isn't in my past placement. It is right now in the future. They can come together, break bread, share their cups, both of them having filled their own cups and being able to share from the overflow. They are both intoxicated. He's really hoping that he can initiate it. He wants to, this is the Page of Wands. He wants to spark this if the fire has gone out, which is something he's afraid might have happened. He wants to spark this. He wants to make some kind of a gesture. Now, this is a page energy, so we have a little boy here. So he's excited. He feels like a kid on, his birthday or Christmas Day if you celebrated that. Just very, very excited. He's also, pretending to ride a horse. But what's interesting is I don't feel bad about this card. Maybe if it was in reverse, I would be a little bit like worried. But what's interesting is the horse really is representing the Ace of Wands, which is his desire and his passion. So this is a burgeoning sexual energy. So he definitely is excited about being able to be physical with divine feminine. Um, but it's also because of the Housewives Tarot, it's also a mop, which you use to clean something up. So he has cleaned up his act, and he's anxious, and I think that does include fear, but also excitement to show divine feminine that he's cleaned up his act and that his sexual energy is for her alone. Because the thing that he was cleaning up that was so messed up here in the Seven of Wands was the Emperor, who was unstable. This is a very stable, shelf-stable Emperor here. But he's also composed of a lot of, gross stuff that isn't that good for you. So it might have been shelf stable. It might have lasted a long time, but who wants to eat it, right? The Emperor is highly sexual, especially in shadow. This is Aries energy. Y'all, Aries, I know you, I see you, I feel you, okay? And that energy to be aggressively passionate in all kinds of ways can be out of control at times. And the masculine had to clean up his act. So he was probably engaging in sexual relations with people that he didn't intend to have a stable connection with. He was likely very controlling and jealous if the divine feminine would do anything like that. But he was free to do it himself because he couldn't control himself. um, so he's cleaned this up. I see people putting their names. This is I don't do free readings. So if you want a paid reading, I will be giving those afterwards. But this is a I should codify that. I don't do free personal readings because I spend hours each week doing free collective readings. If you resonate with them, you'll get a lot of your questions answered. You'll get a lot of messages from them. And if you want a personal reading, you do have to pay for that. And I do those at the end of this reading, although we're at 27 minutes today, so I don't know if I'm going to have time, but I will do it if I have time. And if you can't catch me today, I do 6 days a week of live readings where you can come get a personal reading for $11, $22, or $33. And you can also click the link in my profile to book a private reading. So we're heading here now to what he has fought for. He fought to clean up this messy ass behavior so that he could have this in the present moment, a physical connection with the divine feminine that was equal. They're on equal. Like this is two people who both have the same amount in their cup, okay? And that's important in their connection. What's clarifying that, I love this because it came out in today's TikTok reading. If you caught that reading on TikTok, the Temperance card, which is what he was hiding the divine feminine, and not hiding in a shady way, but maybe not able to express to her because he wasn't quite ready to express this to her yet, or just doesn't have the opportunity because they haven't initiated this communication. But this is calm, peace. This is no longer feeling that passionate, aggressive sexual energy or jealousy or rage. And instead, it's finally allowing the divine to help him keep those um, excessive feelings in moderation. And it's coming out with the King of Wands, who is the monogamous king. I have seen has mastery over his sexual energy. He is a monogamous king. Um, my connection is unstable. Please wait while we try reconnecting. You know what? I'm going to use that as a cue to take a drink. Sorry about my connection over here on YouTube. I would say everybody hydrate, but I'm hydrating with coffee. Although I do put coconut water in my coffee, so it's like more hydrating, right? Technically. Also, I wish I'd never done that because now when I take my cold brew concentrate and put water in it, it tastes like garbage water. Yes. Oh, thank you, Scooby Doo. My moderator is going in. Thank you so much. Absolutely happy to see you here. All right. So we have the masculine calming his sexual energy, mastering it, and becoming the monogamous king. This is a person who is highly sexual, ready to go, but is only ready to go with divine feminine and doesn't seek other partners at this time. If that doesn't sound like your person, you might be at an earlier stage of the journey, or you might have picked a person who doesn't reflect your own energy back to you. And while it may be sad to know that, it's also liberating because you can move on from them, because you don't want to be with a person who doesn't have that mastery over their sexual energy. You want to be with somebody who matches you. And the reason for that is because of this next card. So why is Divine Masculine super excited? You know what's funny? These cards are flipped over, but I really focus on each card at a time. So I didn't even notice that this is what he's excited about. It's the Ten of Cups. It's this bliss fulfillment, and it's replacing what may have been also an addiction um, with no longer being addicted to the divine feminine, but actually being addicted to his bliss fulfillment, 1044 on the clock, which is a much better thing to be addicted to. You should not be addicted to a person. You want to be addicted to filling your own cup in healthy ways. And I see the divine masculine is excited because he learned this lesson. And he does know what will make him happy, to be united with the divine feminine. But he's no longer addicted to a substance, numbing behaviors, or even numbing himself out with the feminine's emotional processing that she would do for him. All right, now after 31 minutes, we're starting the heart space. I'm scared for how long this reading is going to be. Oh my gosh. All right, so divine masculine, why is he regretting the past or wanting to release the past? Because he kept divine feminine a secret. He had this deep past connection with her, and he wasn't willing to publicly acknowledge it. He was not bringing her peace in any way. He in his own life experienced a lot of success, and he didn't share it with her. It was a solo victory, and it was a shallow victory. He's feeling childish about having kept this a secret, kept not only her a secret from everyone, but kept the secret of how he felt about her from her. He might have alluded to it. He might have dipped his toe into the water. He might have been immature in the past about how he communicated his love for the divine feminine, but his actions always spoke louder than his words. So he may have been like, I love you, I love you, I love you, and then shown in his actions that what he really loved was to protect his own peace. That he did love the divine feminine, but his own peace was more important to him at the time. And that's okay. There are times in our lives when we do need to protect our peace, and it is important to do that. But he's regretting it because he missed out on his joy and his happiness and on bringing that to someone else, which would make him feel very, very good. I'm seeing some questions come in. This is a collective reading. You'll probably get a lot of answers from it. I'm noticing a few people asking, is somebody going to come back? I can answer that without reading cards. Do you think they will come back? Do you feel they will come back? That is the answer to your question. If you think they will, they will. If you think they won't, they won't. If you want them to, change your thinking. But also remember, your ego might be holding on to somebody that is a survival mechanism. It's this little feeling that kind of gets in under your, and you can't disregard it. It's really there. For the masculine right now, that is the Two of Pentacles energy. This is the eternal dance of back and forth, and it's about changing, making a decision to change the cycling behaviors we have been engaging in. And the change we're seeking has to do with the Four of Cups. So the divine masculine has been dancing around giving this offer to the feminine because of his fear of rejection. And he deeply desires in his heart to change this behavior. He is literally setting himself up for rejection by not coming forward and giving an offer. He's afraid of what he's setting up the situation to unfold as. I don't know how else to say that. Okay, let's go in. The first card we saw, the Seven of Wands, where he is, standing up and fighting for what he desires, willing to clean up his messes, get rid of his behaviors that don't serve him. How has he done this? He has let go of public opinion. If you're keeping a secret, if you're not publicly acknowledging something like the Six of Wands energy, you're doing that because you're afraid of what people think. And so he has done his damnedest to stop giving a shit about other people's opinions. This is the Four of Pentacles, but we see like a doctor here giving his opinion to someone. And he has cleaned it up. He's no longer cares about that. He's also let go of a focus on the material only. He is, if he did not have a strong financial foundation, he has completely cleaned this up as well, because that's the next position. He wants in this current moment, this cup, he's able to provide because he is in his Emperor energy. So distorted Emperor energy has been basically corrected when he tunes into his heart space because this was his thinking about himself in the past. I'm an unstable, overly sexual, controlling tyrant. And now he feels about himself. I am a stable protector provider with a solid financial foundation, a clear vision for being able to um, command my empire, and I can provide this divine counterpart energy to my divine feminine. So, this is how he feels about himself right now, which means the reason he's so excited, this was actually upright, I don't know why I flipped it over, but the reason he was or he's so excited right now and anticipating is because he is able, since he feels like this, to fully attract his divine feminine in all of his confidence. And he's able to be bold. And so he's excited because he finally feels like he's cleaned up enough to be able to actually come forward and see the divine feminine. Hi, just to let you know, I don't do free personal readings. This is a free collective reading, so I'm sure you're going to get your questions answered here. And if you need a personal reading, click the link in my profile to schedule one at my website. Clarifying what was unstable, we have the Princess of Pentacles, and this is a the Page of Pentacles energy. So basically, he cleaned this up one step at a time because this made him feel like a loser. It made him feel unworthy. We know that Divine Masculine feels worthy today, not only because of this Emperor card here in this reading, but if you saw the TikTok reading and hopped over to this my live stream from the TikTok reading, then you know it is because the Divine Masculine's first card that came out of the deck today was the King of Pentacles. And he said right out the gate, I feel worthy. So we know that he doesn't feel like this anymore. But the reason he acted like this is because he felt like this. This is like tiny dick syndrome, right? And that made him feel impotent, which made him feel your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try reconnecting. Isn't that an interesting? So when my YouTube connection goes out, it says your connection is unstable, which I talked about with this Emperor energy. Please wait while we try reconnecting, which is now dawning on me as being like the whole purpose of separation. I'm just going to start saying that to people. They're like, I'm in separation. I don't know why. I'm going to be like, your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try reconnecting. Like, that's literally what it means. So until he could start to feel worthy, which he had to do one small step at a time, he was acting in this unstable way. But that's over now because this King of Wands, which I said is this monogamous king energy because he has mastery over his sexual energy, is being clarified by the Seven of Cups. No more confusion, no more other options. He has made his choice, which we see his desire here was for this union. He has chosen with confidence and boldness to come into physical union with the divine feminine. How do we know that it's the divine feminine? Well, if you saw the TikTok reading today, I flipped over the deck at the end and started to show the card, and it ended, and it was her, the Queen of Cups, which is his bliss fulfillment and his happiness. And he's feeling that she is so beautiful. She's here with the Queen of Wands, but it's not because there's two queens. It's because the divine feminine is everything. She's hot and sexy and fiery and passionate and attractive and magnetic. And she's loving and kind and beautiful and generous and psychic and sensitive and sweet and forgiving. And he wants it all. And I don't care that just took me 41 minutes. This reading is amazing. And let's see what his emotional side, if you're focused on a person right now that's a masculine, we're going to go look at the feminine side of that person. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, we're also looking at that masculine side as a part of yourself. So if you just listen to all of that and we're thinking about your smelly old person, that's totally fine. After you hop off of this live stream with me, hop over to my Tuned In Tarot YouTube page and watch it again and think about everything I just said in reference to your own self. That is how you will find healing and be able to change your energy. If you only ever think about someone else, the energy doesn't change. If you wonder why you're constantly waiting or you're constantly in separation and you're constantly trying to reconnect, it's because you're constantly thinking of someone else and you're not thinking about what you need to do to shift and change your experiences. And I don't just mean with another person, I mean in general, with the passions that you have, if you even know what those are, and I hope that you do. Everybody should know what they're passionate about. There's no shame if you don't. It just means you need to grab somebody and help and ask them to help you figure it out. I do that. If you're interested in working with me, click the link in my profile. Go over to the package page. There's a spiritual initiate package. You can work with me once a week, and we will figure out what you want to do in the world. All right, I'm going to flip over the cards on the feminine side of self now. For those of you that, oh my God, wait till you see the cards. For those of you that identify in your feminine energy, you'll probably recognize a lot of this. It'll feel very familiar to you, but understand that your person shares this energy too. The top of your deck overall headspace is, hey, the Six of Pentacles. And it's in reverse because you are thinking a lot about how you put a lot in, but you haven't seen a return on your investment. I'm also seeing in this deck, which is Mystic Mondays. Oh, just because I didn't say this, last deck is also the Cosmic Tarot, and I did the Housewives Tarot before that. This is now the this is Mystic Mondays Tarot. And when we see it upright, it looks like this divine feminine who's sitting in lotus pose, which means she's enlightened, and she's got all the coins in her own hands. And for me, this is why I love having different decks. And if you want to send me a deck, you can click inspire new interpretation or deeper interpretation of cards I already am familiar with. And I love that this deck focuses on the divine feminine energy as reciprocating love to herself, because we give and give and give to everyone else. But in this, we're seeing a fair and balanced situation happening because she is centered and giving to herself. If you give to yourself, you can give back to yourself. If you give to someone else, you have to wait for them to give back to you if that's how you are filling your cup. But she's figured out that she is reciprocating her own needs. However, it's not satisfying. She wants to experience the give and take in a physical sense from another person. And so she's really feeling that she's not quite getting what she desires at the current moment. Underlying her thoughts and decisions is this energy she's waiting to reciprocate. It's the Knight of Cups. He is holding a cup that is usually expressing his love and feelings and emotions. But this isn't the most stable knight. He's emotional, he's expressive, he's Pisces. So he flows in and out. He has varying levels of commitment. Loves so much, but is really kind of also self-indulgent and doesn't always act like according to any sort of plan. Is like a bit loosey-goosey or open-ended. And the divine feminine is like, I need some reciprocation, but I'm relying on somebody that has been wishy-washy in the past. I am open to receive love and I want to give love. But I can't keep giving love without receiving some kind of an action or a gesture. And it's not even a condition because I have this love for this person, whether they make this gesture or not. It's really just fair. It's really just right now imbalance. The alarms are going off right now, trying to wake my brother up from his slumber. So it's like, wake up, divine masculine, and actually go and do the work, right? That's the feminine feeling. The first thing on her mind is the Eight of Cups. And whenever I see this Eight of Cups, I see this person who's sitting on the edge and they're about to walk away. They haven't done it yet, but they're prepared to do it. And, there's this like riding off into the sunset type of a feeling that I'm getting. And the thing about this card is, unlike the other Eight of Cups, where all of those cups are behind you, she would have to walk past each cup to leave them behind, which means she would have to think about her feelings each step of the way. And it's not an easy thing to do. And she has done it because this is in the past. She may have hesitated for a really long time because she didn't want to feel the loss of the good things, even if she was able to feel the loss of the bad things. So she's very, very, this was not an easy thing for her to do. And it probably took a really long time, and she might not have even fully accomplished this aspect of her journey, but she sure as hell tried. And the fact that she was willing to take that step, and start walking away from the masculine and walking away from her feelings for him so that she could honor her own feelings, so that she could find someone that could reciprocate. Ironically, what that has resulted in is this, the Emperor. So that's not one, that's not two, that is three decks. And what's really incredible about the fact that this card came out three times across four tarot decks that I have right now, which please somebody give me this three times. And actually, we haven't finished the other reading coming up from the heart phase, but they put it in the same position in the present moment. Divine Feminine took her power back from the masculine that she was clinging to by deciding to walk away from this toxic behavior, actually. And when she took her power back from the masculine, she became empowered. What's really interesting is that so did he. Because when somebody thinks they need something and they can't do or be on their own without that thing, then the only way to prove that that is not true is if you take the thing away from them. As a mom, you might have to do this with a child that is clinging to a security item, a security blanket, or continuing to suck their thumb, something like that, where they feel they need the security, but you have to prove to them that they don't. It's not an easy experience, and Divine Feminine did this of her own accord because she wanted to move on in the Six of Swords from the mental conflict that she had, this constant feeling of defeat that just accompanied this journey with this masculine. She didn't want to experience that anymore. She wanted to take the truth and go to calmer waters and just push on, move on, and no longer be in this back and forth energy that the masculine felt too over here with this never ending story of this Two of Pentacles back and forth dance of trying to balance out the connection. Clarifying the Eight of Cups is the Queen of Swords. And this is the only way that she could do this, the only way that she could walk away from that masculine energy that she was clinging to was by going into her her intellect, her thoughts, her logic, being discerning, setting up healthy boundaries. This isn't something she wanted to do. This is something she had to do. So she called on her Queen of Swords energy to accomplish this. Thank you so much. I'm seeing roses from Gorgeous Bee. Thank you very much. Just so you know, if you are gifting today or if you are viewing for this whole reading or a big chunk of it, you will be entered in to win a free reading because my top gifters and top viewers will receive the opportunity to win a free reading, which I will draw for in August 1st. So what do we have now that she has got her power back? Oh, nothing. Just this Queen of Pentacles energy. Independent, creative, abundant. She is holding her pearl here. Pearl. It's precious. And this is her pearl. She has this. She has found this deep within herself. Her own worth, her own value, her own preciousness. And pearls are formed from protecting yourself. They are formed by developing layer upon layer upon layer of beauty, of an inner beauty that is drawn outward and becomes evident to everybody so that they can see you shine. And this is what is allowing her to fulfill her own wishes. To take your power back from somebody who is draining you gives you power. And what do you do with it? She put it into herself. She put it into her dreams. She put it into where she wants to go, which is what she always thought she needed the masculine energy to do. But this journey taught her that she didn't need him to be able to do what she wanted to do in the world. She wants him, and that's empowering in and of itself. If you need something, it's less compelling than if you just want it. I don't want you to think for a moment that this has been easy for the divine feminine, because it hasn't been. It has caused her a lot of fear and worry. She is concerned that her decision to leave the masculine behind, to not communicate with him, will potentially result in her nightmare, which is that he will be gone. And she really doesn't want to lose that person. So she is very concerned about it in her headspace. She is overthinking. We did see that coming up here in this reading. There was more than will cause her nightmare to come true. And her nightmare is that she won't get to be with this emperor after all. And so there might be this stuff that's going on where she's like, maybe I should just write to him so he knows that I still love him, even though I had to leave him, because if he does want to come back to me, I just want him to be sure that. But the point of you leaving him out there on his own life raft, is showing him that you believe in him and his power, that he doesn't need you to be powerful, that he is powerful in and of himself, and that he will take charge and do what he wants to do the way that you do. And so while you may think you need to let him know how you feel, um, you didn't know how he felt. You had no idea how he felt, and you still risk sending a message. You still risked putting yourself out there. And if he doesn't have to do the same thing, then your relationship isn't equal. He has to be able to feel the strength and the power of your connection without you reassuring him. You have to let him do this on his own. It's interesting because the situation that was going on, my brother's room is connected to mine. And earlier today, I heard my mom come in and try to get him up. And then I heard him say, I don't have to drive today because of whatever his job is. He has to drive some days and not others. And then she said, oh, I'm sorry. And she left. And then I told you his alarms were going off, right? We heard his alarms going off. And then this last one that came off, she came into the room again. And I'm sure told him he had to get up. I just want to let you all know that my brother is 23 years old. Why is my mother telling him he has to get up? He knows he has to get up. He doesn't need her to do that. It's bothering her so much. I talked to her about it yesterday, if he's late for work. And I said, why? And I said, I knew that it was because it was a reflection. She thought it was a reflection of her, because that's how my mother thinks. She doesn't really think of us as autonomous, which has been an issue in our lives for her and for us. So she takes our decisions personally, which doesn't make any sense. And if it's not in alignment with her thinking, and she's a Virgo, so that's a very specific, perfect type of way, then it bothers her. It makes her upset, makes her anxious. It makes her feel like she has to be responsible for someone who's 23 years old, and she does not. So that's what you're kind of doing to the masculine when you're like going into his DMs and being like, I'm still here. It's time to get up. He fucking knows that. Do you want to be married to your son? To a little boy? Do you want to be married to this guy? Is this who you want to be? Oh, let me just wipe the corner of your mouth. Oh, let me just prepare your diapers for you. Or do you want to be married to this person? This person. Who do you want to be with you? I babysat, nannied, and grew my own son up to 16 years old. Now that my son is 16 years old, I do not hover. I do not. When I feel myself hovering, I'm like, why am I hovering? He's 16. He can't tell if he's hungry or not. And if he doesn't eat and doesn't feel good, is that my problem? It's really not at this point. I can just be like, hey, if you want me to make you something, I'm totally want to do that. I'm your mom, and I'd be more than happy to do that. I like to make food for people. If you want me to do that, it's fine. But it's not my job to go in and be like, did you eat yet? Because he has to be capable of figuring that out himself. And you know what? He probably is. And if he's not, because he's overly focused on activities that distract him, then he will face the consequences of not eating on time. It is not the feminine's job to tell the masculine what to do, when to do, how to do it, and that controlling energy is exactly what he is running from. Damn, why are you calling me out like that? Because I'm calling us out like that because I watch people comment on my reading and I watch them blame another person. And I know as a reader and from experience with talking to people that it is likely that a person who is making certain comments on my post is likely terrorizing their masculine with their controlling energy, with their demands. And the thing is, your demands are reasonable. But if your person doesn't want you to give, doesn't want to, or isn't capable of giving you those things, then it is your job because you know the reflection of you. Your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try reconnecting. They are a reflection of you, but not in the way that you are thinking. You are probably needing to have somebody come and wake you up and tell you it's time to go to work. And you're waiting for that person to do that when it's your own job. It's your own job to wake yourself up and take yourself to work. And if you don't want to go to do that work, it's likely you're not doing the work that makes you feel good. And if I was my brother's mom, the conversations that I would have with him, and I do have with him as my brother, would not be, you need to get up and go to work on time. Instead, I say to him, it seems like you really don't enjoy the work you're doing. What's something you want to do? Like maybe we can figure out a way for you to find that. You want to act as a guide. You want to act as somebody who is willing to be like, I will help you figure your shit out if you want me to, because it seems like you're unhappy. I wouldn't be like, why aren't you going to this job you hate on time? I would know why. That's another story. All right, let's look at the heart space, the divine feminine. Unfortunately, divine feminine, you are obsessed with reciprocity. Here's the devil. You are really, really fixated and dependent upon receiving what you have put into a situation. But this for me is quid pro quo. I did this for you. Why don't you do this for me? And I'm absolutely guilty of this. I do this with family and friends. If I don't say it, I think it. I'll be like, well, I did X, Y, and Z. How come they don't do that for me? Well, I did that. Why isn't that happening for me? I'm sorry. Did you do that thing because you expected them to? And I can genuinely say, no. I did that thing because I happen to be a Leo. We're pretty generous and we just sort of function that way. We like to make people smile. We like to make people happy. It makes us feel good. But you know what? That's fucking me. That's not anybody else. That energy is me. That energy is who I am. And it says your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try reconnecting. God damn it. I'm really annoyed. It's taking a long time now.